Summer Walker, Chris Brown, baby, let's talk about it.
Hey friends, this is Audie Cornish, host of CNN This Morning and The Assignment, and guess what? Every story you care about, every angle you want unpacked is now streaming on CNN. That means you can catch my show or other CNN programming whenever you want on your favorite device. And a subscription also gets you access to exclusive video series and unlimited articles. So subscribe to CNN at cnn.com/subscription.
How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It, Music Reviews Season 11. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. I'm going to be honest with y'all guys, going into Music Friday, alright, the new Music Friday, I wasn't expecting to be talking about Summer Walker, but, times have definitely changed, I guess. Her new album dropped, and this album is completely fucking stacked with features. I mean, there's ton of goddamn features. So we'll be covering this album. We'll be talking about this whole entire album, etc. We'll talk about all the big features, do all the track reviews, etc. But I wanted to do this one first because this is one of the features that catch my eye. Because you got Summer Walker and you got Chris Brown. All right, that's a pretty good combo in my opinion. Now, the only time I've really reviewed Summer Walker's music on this show is when she did that SZA collab, and I think it was a song with Megan Thee Stallion, if I do remember, going back in time. So it's been quite a while since I talked about Summer Walker, but she's been dropping some singles. I've been looking at the promotion. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't understand why there's a old ass man that she's marrying on the album promo, Like, it's one of the big things. Like, even the cover picture is her marrying an 80-year-old.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
Fucking man, which is, definitely something, I guess you could say. But anyways, let's get into this song. We're going to talk about the music, starting off with the instrumental. Now, this instrumental, I would say, is one of your typical R&B instrumentals. It kind of just gets the job done. It's using that sample. I think it's a Mariah Carey sample, by the way. And, it's using that, but you always also got some trap soul drums that are kind of laced in here, which sound pretty good. I like the bass. It's that simple, R&B 2020s melody that's been used for so many times. But one of the things that I do enjoy is the background vocals. They sound really good. The way Chris Brown and Summer Walker are kind of trading between background vocals that kind of just help out the song. Plus you got the sample that's really backing things up when you're listening to the track, which is pretty entertaining in my opinion. But let's really get into the song, because I'll just be real. I've listened to some R&B instrumentals, and this one is definitely one of the more basic ones. I think this one just gets the job done. This is it's like if I'm listening to a SZA song, it's like this shit gets the job done. Is it anything compelling? Is it anything that I've heard that's new? No, I think this is kind of rehashing some older elements, adding some newer elements, and which Chris Brown's done the same thing recently with one of his songs that we talked about on this show. So I'm not going to, completely dog on it for having, that type of stuff. When you can do it right, you can do it right. When you can make it your own thing, you can make it your own thing, etc. So how do they make it their own thing? Let's start off with the hook. Hook is one of the main things that's on this song. It's kind of played 3 times throughout the track. So one of the big selling...
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Points is this hook. Now, this hook had to grow on me. I will be real with you. First, when I heard it, I was a little confused. You had Chris Brown kind of doing these really deep, kind of low vocals, which Honestly, I didn't expect him to sound like this, on the hook, but I guess he does. He kind of switches his vocals. He gets back to that singing and etc. that we know, but it kind of just does this kind of like dark, deep voice, and then he kind of just does this different flow. Summer Walker sounds pretty okay on here. My only thing is that you kind of just put a filter on her voice, so you kind of just hear this kind of auto-tune robotic sound that's kind of on the hook. So you're not really getting much of her voice until the very end of the hook, when she switches her vocals, switches her flows, and adds something a little bit new to it. So I guess in my opinion, it's not, one of the greatest R&B hooks I've heard. I'm just going to be real with you. I do like the flow switch. I think that can make the track, easier to listen to. Wants to keep you listening to it with a good flow switch. I like how we get a couple in the hook. One of the things that I do complain about, with the 2025 hook is that, we always do the same vocal style. We always do the same flow. This is, doing a different vocal style, a different flow as the hook keeps going on. So that's a pretty good thing in my opinion when you're hearing that. But overall, this hook is just okay. I was really trying to get into it. I was really trying to enjoy it, but I'm just going to be real. I didn't really enjoy this that much. And then we'll get into Summer Walker's verse. I think it was okay. It's a little short. It kind of just gets the job done. But I'd say the singing was pretty good on here. I was a little skeptical. Sometimes when you're listening to Summer Walker, she can fall into that SZA category where, you're kind of slurring your words together. You're not really holding out your notes. You're not really, singing to your fullest here. I'd say the singing is pretty good on here. The singing gets the job done. It sounds pretty nice. Nothing to really complain about. You also have some really good background vocals from Summer Walker that sounds pretty good. If it just wasn't on such a basic-ass beat, I think I would enjoy this verse a little bit more. But it just kind of feels like we're padding out time when Summer Walker finally comes on this track and kind of...
Wherever Bud goes, his harmonica goes with him. It's a pocket full of soul. Now he's living with prostate cancer. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
Delivers a okay verse at best. It sounds good, but, it's also one of those things where it just gets the job done. It's like if I went to Walmart and they were playing they were playing Christmas music. They're going to pick Christmas music that just kind of gets the job done. That just sounds like Christmas music. There's nothing to really make it sound compelling. There's nothing to keep it going. It's just going to sound like your every other fucking year Christmas music. And that's kind of the vibes I'm getting on with this verse. So moving on with Chris Brown. Chris Brown's on here. How does Chris Brown do on here? I'd say his verse was pretty good. I like all the different flow switches that he did. My only thing about Chris Brown is sometimes this man can sound phenomenal. This man can sound fucking insane. And then there's moments like this where I'm just like, Chris Brown feature, you didn't really fucking do that much on this song. I'd say the verse is just okay at best. It's one of those things where I'm just like, maybe we could have got a vocal switch up where he was singing a lot better. But no, he kind of relies on those robotic vocals, which just makes no fucking sense to me in the big 2025. Like, we know you can fucking sing, brother. Like, what's going on here? Fucking sing. Goddamn. Sing pretty good. Like, please. Like, it just drives me insane sometimes when he layers his fucking vocals up with so much goddamn auto-tune. It's like, you don't even fucking need that. Like, it makes no sense. I do like all the different flow switches that Chris Brown does on here. But overall, this song's kind of disappointing. I was expecting something a little bit better. But you just kind of get a basic-ass hook. You kind of just get a basic couple of verses. And then you just kind of call it a goddamn day. You know, this feels like I'm listening to like a Lil Baby album, you know, a Lil Baby album that added like a fucking Gunna verse or like a 21 Savage verse, you know. It's just like, alright, you know, is this the government mandated fucking verses? Is this the government mandated goddamn hook? Because like, what the fuck am I even listening to? So overall, guys, when we talk about this song, Summer Walker, Chris Brown, Baby, you know, I think it gets the job done. But honestly, there's better R&B to listen to, better R&B songs to listen to that have come out in recent fucking times. I mean, this is just okay. You know, if you're going to use Mariah Carey's sample, at least fucking put your all into it. I mean, goddamn. You know, the only one that's putting their all into it is Chris Brown in the background.
Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Brother, get out of the background and get on the damn song. Like, I don't understand. Alright, get on the damn song if you're going to be doing all this shit. You know, come on. Anyways, guys, Summer Walker, Chris Brown, Baby, overall, I'm just going to give this track like a 5 out of 10. I'm kind of disappointed listening to it, so 5 out of 10, guys. Did y'all love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, because we're dropping new content every single day. And we got a lot more Summer Walker covers coming up. We also got some other stuff coming up. You know, we're going to work around it. But get ready. We got some big features to talk about. For some reason, out of all people in 2025, Summer Walker's got fucking everybody on her damn album. So now I gotta fucking listen to this shit. So get ready for that. We got more covers coming out for that album very soon. And we got some other stuff that's come out on a Thursday night. So I'll see y'all later. You have a good one. Yeah, guys. Bye.